Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first stream of the Merciless Talks Invitational on September 24th. I am Cursed Chords, and I have two very special guests with me tonight.
I'm Pancake. Awake.
I'm eminently sensible, also awake.
Thank goodness. As we kind of started doing last year, right at the very end, we did as a sort of a special thing last year, and it worked out really well. That is to have the two competitors from the match here to do the commentary. We figured let's do that this year again as many times as we can. So very happy to have you with me.
Glad to be here. I like to talk pony cards.
I like to see what my opponent's hand was and what they were thinking during gameplay. Not all of us play orange.
Very true. Yeah. So
Foreshadowing.
yeah. For those of you who I guess maybe this is your first time watching invitationals, we are going to be watching a best of 3 series between these two players. The first game, well, I can tell you now, the first game is going to be core. The second game is going to be adventure. And the third game, if we need it, it'll be one of the two, randomly chosen. Do you guys have anything you want to say before we get to looking at the first decks?
It will come up in a way as we look at deck lists, but as I was studying Pancake's deck, one thing that jumped out at me immediately out of his 4 decks is all of them are blue. We won't see all 4 of his decks, obviously. It's up to 3. But the fact that all 3 of his decks are blue is no mere coincidence, because they're all blue.
What can I say? It's a hell of a drug.
Well, yeah, certainly in adventure at least it's a common theme. Oh, is that so, eh?
Is there anything I can do to up my volume?
I can pump you up a little bit on my side here. Oh, wait on. Yes. Sorry, give me a second.
I am a bit closer to my microphone and speaking a bit louder.
That definitely helps where I'm at.
Yeah, I had you turned down because you were a bit loud during the recording.
Okay.
And so I hadn't fixed that. I think it should. Yeah, you should have been really loud just for a second there because we both adjusted you up at the same time. But I think you're good now. You just
All right.
Yeah, I think you're good now.
Well, thanks for noting that. Commentary is magic. Probably GP.
Probably. So shall we get to? I don't know. I have Pancake stacked on top here, so let's go there first. I want. Well, there's a bit of this deck should be perfectly familiar to you if you've ever played against Pancake and Core, but at the same time, it's different, right?
There's a couple things in there that I've been messing around with and changing and trying to figure out. The deck got way more hammered than I thought it was going to with the loss of Triad. And due to that, I've been having to try and figure out some way to deal with it, handle it, and I've gotten some answers, but it's not quite settled in any way, shape, or form. So this was just an attempt at one of those things.
Yeah, so Triad of Terror was, it's just so much free money for farm because it makes your farms easier and it's a 3-pointer, which is not especially challenging to beat.
Yeah. No, it gave legs to farm. In fact, it actually hampered farm for a while in that farm didn't even have to figure out its best deck because Triad could just run through so much with it.
Beat most things.
Yeah. But now we're on the opposite side where Triad is not an option anymore, and Farm's got to fill that hole somehow, and it's been difficult.
And so, if I remember correctly, in this version, you're going with pink as the secondary color, right?
Yeah. It's the most common, easiest, and powerful, I think, as without trying any shenanigans. It gives you access to Wrath of Gilda, which is a good board wipe. It gives you access to Spitfire, which is a good hasty friend. And then there's also, I end up sideboarding it out, but there's a spicy little resource that goes, hey, your opponent has to sack a friend every turn, and you don't because you don't care about friends. So that's a fun card.
Pretty much, yeah. And in this matchup, you're going to be playing against, well, I'll just say it right now. You're going to be playing against yellow-blue, aggro, which is why I have your Wrath and your Grogar's Lair and your Villain up there as important.
That's also why he sideboarded out most of his resource removal, right? Winterzilla is not super relevant here. Baked Bads is also, since it hits one target at a time and is a resource, like it's very unlikely to make up its value.
It's really a control card. So
yeah. So the sideboards here are pretty easy.
I probably should have gone up to 3 Grogar's Lairs, at least in hindsight, but that's one of those things where I'm still figuring out the deck. And Yak Smash is, I love the card to death, but it is faltering behind the Thunderlane test, so that card may come out one day soon. But we'll see. We'll see how it all fits together in the future.
Okay. Yeah. Let's, I guess, have a look at your opponent's deck list here. As has been pointed out by some, this Stunning Wonder blue list is something of a theme over the whole tournament. We're going to be seeing a lot of it. But I kind of think that allows us to really highlight the particular ways that people choose to build it. Because there are a lot of different tweaks that people have made to the list, as compared to Istagrim's one that he took to Continentals.
Right.
So, what are some of the changes you made?
So if we consider the second place list at Continentals to be the canonical one that everybody knows about and performed well, the main distinction that this one has is this deck is built very directly around Snack Stand as a card. The reason for that is twofold. That Snack Stand is gas. It is just an incredibly strong card. Not as good as Philly Racers, obviously, but almost. It's still very, very strong. But additionally, Snack Stand is, in my opinion, hard to use. And so this deck is basically supposed to be the crash course in how to use Snack Stand well. You need to make sure that you can play friends every turn consistently, including the turn that you play Snack Stand, which is actually fairly challenging because you want to play Snack Stand turn 1, and you cannot necessarily play another friend turn 1 because it costs 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this deck has a very unusual entry suite. The entry is not at all what entry usually looks like in any deck you'll ever see. It has a lot of 1-drop entry. And the reason for that is specifically to catalyze Snack Stand. I think this build is surprisingly powerful. It does use a few extra cards because I go higher on entry because 1-drop entry is less consistent. But having those extra friends is really good for Shoeshine. 1-drop friends actually are pretty powerful because people don't use them very much, so they kind of get extra benefits. And because this deck is also built around Shoeshine, having all of that extra fodder can be really beneficial later on in the game.
So, why only 3 dilemmas when you're running Stunning Wonder? Are you just not looking for that consistent value, or do you find that you're double confronting sufficiently?
Yes, in my opinion, and this is another split from how Instagram plays it. In my opinion, dilemmas are not very important for Stunning Wonder. Obviously, they were huge for growing confidence when dilemmas didn't subtract away your ability to gain extra value from the DFO because it was just every problem that enters play. But here, you should be expecting to DFO almost every turn of the game once you flip. So the dilemmas are not as important, and especially the tempo is challenging where it's optimized if you play a dilemma on a turn that you don't DFO, because that's the turn where you need that extra gas to trigger Fluttershy when you otherwise wouldn't. I
Right.
think Stuck Together fills that niche very well. You can DFO on Stuck Together for sure, but it's also a good tempo play in a lot of situations where you can say, hey, this isn't a great situation right now, but I want to do something. I want to mess with my opponent. I can play Stuck Together, single confront, and still trigger Fluttershy. But I don't personally think that Fluttershy anymore needs to run that many dilemmas.
Fair, reasonable.
Pretty good.
I got so trounced in Continentals by multiple dilemmas, but I'm also running farm, so.
Yes, against farm, it is the hardest, and that's why 3 of my dilemmas are Sanctuary Construction, which is specifically for farm. Folks in the comments are mentioning, I'm running 6 dilemmas, which is still plenty. It's in the normal world that would be enough to say, hey, I'm pretty good against farm. But based on what we've seen from Yellow in the past, it's a lot less.
Yeah. And talking about this particular matchup, I put out basically your dilemmas and your resource removal are the cards to watch.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't talk about sideboarding yet, but I sideboarded out my friend counterplay. Stop Fighting hits nothing. So that's a big, easy one. And then Yona, I mean, she's fine as a 2-for-2 Swift. Like, it's fine. But I don't typically want to bounce things unless I'm at the very end of the game here, because Pancake's cards are hasty and they're typically going to do a lot better in his hand than on his board.
As note, Yona, one of the reasons why Yak Smash is not good, because it's the one card she wants to hit rather than my Swinging Wonders or my Spitfires that I can refrighten or remove with. So
I do want to quickly mention Bugle is surprised that I'm running Vapor Trail at all with only 6 dilemmas. And I think that's a fair point. Vapor Trail is kind of in there to fill out the color curve. I mean, she's fine, but in this deck, she's not at all a build-around card. The 3/2/3 is just a nice loadout, and I have enough dilemmas to use her. Maybe, probably. It's kind of the same reason Fluttershy and Bulk Biceps are in here, is to fill out the color curve.
Yeah. I mean, it works.
Yeah. Grandpa's has a question here.
Do I think she's better than Pony Pirate? That's interesting. I think there could be a fair argument depending on how much you're building around troublemakers, but since control is non-existent and farm, I had thought was weak, but then I was up against Pancake. I was committed to not specifically build around Pancake, so I didn't go all out in troublemaker counters.
Yeah, that Bugle, you don't have to just always prep for me.
All right, I was asked another thing about Double Trouble, but I have to look up which card that is because I forget.
I think he's just talking double troublemaker.
Like 2 troublemakers? Oh, yeah, no, that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I have to wait around a lot. Mostly Sanctuary Construction is the breakout strategy, but it's actually quite challenging. If I go first, it's hopefully less of an issue because I can enter and have time to respond and maybe even double before they flip up, but that's asking too much. Really, 2 troublemakers is no bueno. It's always been no bueno, even back in Growing Confidence. The deck is just by far the slowest before the flip. And the philosophy, at least historically, how I've built is you have to deal with that. You're going to be so much faster in the late game, and you just have to take it on the chin for a little while.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess we'll see if that's going to be one of those games on turn 1.
I sure hope not. I want to win this.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's get to it. Have the right scene. There we go.
Oh.
So we are picking this up before the mulligans.
I'm going to mull.
Okay. Let me think on this.
And M is going to be a little loud for this game. I only leveled him off for games 2 and 3.
So my hand here, I was so unsure about, but like you're not running bypass troublemakers, and so I was like, I've got 2 troublemakers. I can shadows into
that was a rough hand.
Grogar, and I eventually end up. Did I ship that? Oh, I did. Frick.
Okay.
I think maybe I was.
Okay. As a reminder, 2
searching for
hours,
staff.
45 minutes. Starting now. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, that would have been a much better hand.
2 actions, no draw.
I was searching
dash
for
down,
snack stand as I typically do
Take
here.
a point back to you.
Yeah.
2 actions.
Oh wait, I remember what happened now.
So we're
Move
seeing no
up.
troublemakers, which is very
Draw.
good for me.
Yeah.
But there's one, and that's already bad. If Pancake could just draw 0 troublemakers this whole game, I would win a lot faster, and I think that would be just good for everyone.
Yeah. Troublemaker. Yours. So I was initially
actions,
just going to
draw.
fight that problem, push him back, and flip. But once I drew the Grogar, it was like that's
I'll take
not
the
a good
point.
idea here.
And back to you.
So for me, it's always a risk putting out friends against farm. Like, it's probably going to get them frightened. But since I was going first, I get 2 points out of it, and it was worth it. I knew this was going to come, but I get 2
Well,
points. I get us
Grogar.
to 3 actions, get things moving faster. It's pretty good.
Go searching.
Did I? No, I did not. I was going to say it would have been smart to face off, so I would have been pushed back and been able to push forward as needed. That was a misplay. But yeah, I think I go get another Grogar here, just as more protection. I don't see a reason to have grabbed anything else, but
Right, 3 actions, draw.
And now we have that thing I didn't want to happen, which is 2 troublemakers.
the thing is, we're at 3 AT though, so it's a lot less worse for you.
Yes, I have the ability to amass a
Pay to draw
counter.
once.
However, I just paid to draw. What is up with that? Why am I not doing amazing, super cool nonsense? Well, maybe it's because I have 1 yellow
I'll
and
pass.
0 blue, and I can't enter a single thing. I have 2 blue available on my board, and nope, that doesn't do it either. This is a very yellow hand, and I also don't have that much entry yet. So I'm just kind of
I'll move to face
treading
off again.
water for a little while here.
Shadows.
Sounds good. Ready to flip.
Yeah, so it should be noted, Solano's not flipped,
Got
so I
10
am
total.
4 on 7.
I've got
It was
8
one of those things where I
Oh, Grandpa's
Oh,
pointing out we missed Rick
oh.
there.
frick, I did.
Well, we didn't catch that
There.
one.
Whoop. That probably would have been a good thing. No, yeah. I shall say go.
All right.
Yes.
Well, now this is a big
3
event.
actions, draw.
We've got Grogar's Lair before I have really entered, when I'm still going to be playing a lot
Discard
of cards.
unsatisfactory work at end of turn, back to you.
And having seen that Grogar's Lair, I know for sure that I'm going to need to wait for a
Next one
really
up.
big breakthrough turn because
Draw.
it's going to be so
Move
expensive.
to face off against opponent
And
shadows.
still, I don't have
Sounds
a
good.
method to even enter yet. So this is what I like to call
got 8.
not good.
Tide.
Actually, I don't like to call it that, but it's true.
I remember that. We tied.
Fluttershy is blue.
Look at
3
that. I got
power.
entry,
That
but only during my opponent's
may not
troublemaker
have been what I
phase.
wanted. All right.
I mean, it lasted until the end of the turn
Oh.
for one
Perfect.
piece.
This old
Oh, I
classic.
actually was thinking about the fact that I
Time for me to
could
get to see
play
my deck
Swinging Wonders here.
again.
I was thinking about it pretty hard because it would be a way to
So
break in.
how does timing work on Rutherford? Can he trigger here?
No,
Okay.
the defeat is post declaration of the win step.
That's good.
Ferd comes out.
I mean, that would be nice, but
Not for me.
come on.
And that whole process gets
All right.
reshuffled.
Um,
And the stick goes to the bottom, much to my chagrin.
Is he at Tarnished Rep?
I'm deciding still.
No worries.
You actually have unsat right now, which is kind of bizarre.
Oh, that's right. You do have unset. I forgot about that because that plus
you
2.
did just toss it
Yes,
away.
I
Yeah.
am entered in both
Stash up,
blue and yellow,
which makes sense. I've got a Grogar's
specifically
layer
for
out,
my opponent's turn.
and a Grogar, which means you're going to be attempting to fight there, which means I should probably have power there for a
Yeah.
potential
The difference would have been
thing. So I will
off that
get
illegal
Rutherford
that
there.
1 turn away from me playing
I will.
Grogar's lair.
They want
I don't know how much
Right.
difference that would have
Troublemaker.
been.
Yeah, what's interesting about it
and then I'll
is
flop Solano.
you did go
And I
up
will
to
move to
searching high
confront
and
for a
low, which
point.
you probably wouldn't have done
Point
where
is
you
good.
flip, because then we would have had a
Where's-
problem face off, which would have been terrible
Well,
for you.
I did that before I drew
Reactions,
Grogar,
Draw a card.
Oh yeah,
right?
so that would have been a disaster.
Yeah. No, after I drew Grogar, I didn't flip. But then Grogar would have protected me. I should have fought Grogar, got sent
Doing a lot of
home,
math, sorry.
I understand.
flipped
There's
over.
a layer out.
gone up. There would have been a face-off. But that turn that you banked was where the Grogar's lair would have come down rather than the turn previous. So what would have changed was essentially 1 discard, potentially. Because I didn't end up progressing the game at all because I lost the flip and got sent back home.
Yeah, it's a big risk.
So-
I'm gonna pay
Okay,
2.
so I did a lot of math
Frightened
here
dash.
because I just drew entry. So what I'm terrified about
1.
here is Dash getting frightened.
Rushed makeover.
Um,
Dash is yellow.
because since I've been having so much entry problem, that's why I do this
1.
awkward pause there just to wait
Friends
to
are
see
always
if Pancake
there.
wants to
I will
frighten my
dismiss
dash.
the layer.
Because me getting into yellow here is so incredibly important.
Layer's the reason you have to have that card in that deck.
So
Otherwise,
first
it is
I get rid of the layer so
disaster.
that I can
Yeah.
actually start
A
playing
horrible,
things
horrible
because
disaster.
I have so many things I need to play and I can't
All
spend
right.
1 to not frighten
Well,
all of
we
them.
made it over the hump.
Yeah,
3,
And now that
I
that's
wish I had
happened,
the answer.
everything is
Yeah.
good.
3
I
for
play Vapor
Vapor.
Trail first
Yep.
because I need, I think, more entry into
2
blue.
for Scooter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now the
All of them
shenanigans can
here.
start.
1 for Stuck
Yeah.
Together. Both 1 action. I will use my trigger from Vapor.
So this is why I knew I needed to
On the
bank earlier,
Fluttershy.
because my board state was so bad, but with 10 actions, you can go from no board to a really compelling
1.
board.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
importantly
shoot,
here,
shine.
because Pancake farmed,
There it is.
you know, we went
Can
from
you
2
make sure I'm not
troublemakers
missing
to
any
only 1. I
eccentric?
bring 1 dilemma, and I can DFO
Any
here.
blue
And
eccentric?
DFOing is exactly
Okay,
what I need
I've
to
got
get momentum
7. I'm
back
going to
in
move
this
to
game.
confront Tarnished.
This
You
is
got it.
obviously super close. Like the
Okay,
math was
then
pretty challenging there. I was at 10 actions, and
I
I've only kept
will
1 at the end.
Nom on this Pegasus
But
with Shoe
the
Shine.
fact that I can keep 1 and actually hold an action for a trick is
3
really
plus
nice
2, I'll
because
attempt to
usually when you do
confront-
one of
let me
these
just make
all-out
sure I'm-
turns,
Its
you leave yourself
characters,
open the next
yes,
turn.
I
And
attempt to
here I
confront
didn't
stuck together.
have to.
You got it.
All
Funny
right.
as I had really thought
So,
about
face off that
pulling
I could
Grogar
win,
out
but I'm
at
not
that
holding my
point,
breath.
but that would have just made your confront a lot
Uh,
easier, and you would have had more AT
I'm at
anyways.
15.
5 plus 2
Yeah,
is
considering
7.
that I'm already confronting that searching
Over
high
here
and low,
takes me
if
to
you took out
9.
Grogar, then
Plus
that
my
would have
flip
been a
is
much
12,
easier
and then
turn.
I've got 5 over here. 17.
Wait.
I think I might actually beat Farm here in a
Oh,
face-off.
right. Yeah, let me look. Yeah, that's yours.
Okay, only 1 point.
Yeah.
All right,
I mean-
Shoeshine triggers.
So I was in a really tough spot,
Back.
Stunning will not
and
trigger
it's
this turn,
worth
though.
remembering that like
Oh, great catch.
this can
I
all
would have
go away
forgotten that.
pretty quickly.
thank you.
But at this point, I'm feeling good.
Behooves
got my
people to forget
pieces.
things that are
I've
bad
even
for
got
them.
Rocket Scooter.
Ooh, I'll take that.
So like pretty
bad.
much
Mine's not
everything
bad
is out,
either.
and I will be able to
Before I have to
DFO
wrap up, let
every turn for
me
the rest of the game, unless
dump this
something
critter to
bad happens.
Shoeshine. That gives me a trigger.
I happen to see
I
something
will
bad in
move
Pancake's
up
hand
another
right
character
now.
to swaying, which will be a flourish.
I don't remember. I think I waited a turn. I wasn't.
4 at home.
I
back
wasn't
to you.
quite sure that I wanted to pull the trigger so quick. Because that
You
would
can
kind of-
afford it
6
now.
there?
I'm gonna bet you do it now.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I don't know what else could happen. Oh, I see. You've got a face-off
Yeah.
that you can go for.
Shadows comes into play.
And here,
Shadows.
I pretty much knew you
Sounds
had
good.
that on set. I really should have pushed my main up, but
12 on 9.
Well,
you know.
Rutherford's bigger, and
I've only
he
got
gets
11.
a
you
good
only got
trigger.
11?
I don't think that's a
Oh,
bad
that's 4.
choice.
It's not worth it here.
GP says that I'm a bit confident with my claim of a DFO every turn for the rest of the game.
I definitely.
Well, I
need to
wasn't
do
confident in the beginning, but my confidence grew. Okay.
This right here. That
Oh
will win-
lord.
That will win me the face off.
Let me just understand how these would process.
Oh right.
Yeah, in a bad way. Okay, well, I do have an unset, so I'm going to use that.
So that wouldn't have been that bad. Just a bunch of troublemakers in hand, and
Yeah, giving you like 6 draws. I don't want that to happen.
he is surprisingly not that many draws, annoyingly. So
I guess it does strongly depend on how many troublemakers you've got, but
yeah.
you have a fair amount in this
move
deck.
Rutherford up.
Is
Yeah.
it 15
yours.
No,
or is it fewer?
it's fewer than that.
Okay.
The
3
total
actions.
number without
Draw a card. We're only on 3 actions.
winter
Oh,
bullets
I know.
is like 13 or 12.
Yeah, of epics,
I will
you've got
do my
11
best to get
and
us
then
out of
3
there.
easy as pies.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want you to because that will probably be game, but
So, considering I've got 3 hasty
Okay,
friends,
I'm
that are all
going
3 cost
to
and
eat a
3
Pegasus
actions in
move
my
Shoeshine
hand,
over here.
I feel okay about going for this
Oh.
Pony of Shadows. Now,
Is that foolish? Shut up.
I don't
I'm going to
really
challenge the Pony of Shadows.
Yeah, what I said. Is that foolish? Shut up. It's really bad
Okay, you've got
to
13.
hit your opponent's
Yep.
Pony of Shadows, but
I
I don't
have
have a dilemma right
6.
now. So I just want to make this happen.
So
I want
need
to get through
8
it. The
more
1 point is
strength
okay, but being able to
in order to be
DFO
ahead,
and
right, that would
keep
put me
the
at 14.
momentum is what I really need.
yeah.
I just can't slow
I can
down.
muster precisely that, so I'm going to go for it.
Oh,
That, pull.
right.
These
Actually,
2. That puts me up by 1.
You got it.
A whole 1 point.
Hold on.
Oh yeah. How could this possibly go poorly for me?
I think this is the
Yeah, sure.
epically long one.
oh yeah. This is the one where I think I went through like half my deck.
It was bringing me flashbacks from when you literally only had 1 friend in this deck.
Like that was always fun. Here, let me just shortcut it. And Cheese would let me do that. It's just like, just go get it.
Deck. I
You
know
play
there's
an
some.
okay number of friends.
I know.
So I guess you must have boarded out your GGs. That's what I'm concluding here. I thought he had GGs. He doesn't
You
even
were
have
looking at the wrong
GGs.
deck.
Yeah, no, not in this
Oh,
deck.
that's the other one.
Okay,
It's because
fair
he plays a
enough.
lot of blue.
You,
Uh,
Dash,
You run
GG's
so many blue
just
farms.
not.
all right. Well,
Solano can't support GG.
I think the
That's the
only
issue.
thing to do is you're gonna go for the confront is to actually push
Oh yes, this move.
everything here. Right?
Don't like how likely you are to win this face-off now.
So, I have so much gas, but the thing about using shoe shine as your gas is she doesn't
You've got
really add
9,
face-off strength
13.
because you're just kind
Yeah.
of scrimmaging your power around from one problem to another.
I'm gonna shuffle this 'cause
So
I
at this
don't
point,
remember doing so.
both of us have about the same
Yep,
amount of strength thereabouts. I think I still have a little more. My odds
Okay,
aren't terrible here, but I don't like this.
Sure.
Because
I'm gonna confront tarnished.
pretty unacceptable for
I'm going to zip.
Pancake to win this
Shoe
face
shine
off.
over. by
But there's
eating the
also nothing I can
Pegasus.
really do because Pancake next turn would be able to cause a
Counter, that
DFO
puts
of
me
his
at just
own,
enough,
since
but
he
I get
had
this
the
free
swinging
move anyway,
wonders.
so I'll take it.
He's got everything up at problems.
I'll confront swaying.
So I really have no
pre-
choice. I'm backed into a corner
3,
here.
5, 8, 11,
Yeah, because next turn I just play the
5, 16
16.
to 13.
13.
play the
Alright.
So I'm up by
Anybody's. I
3.
really hope I don't
So by
tie.
flip average, I think I'm okay.
That's
But
19.
we tied,
19.
which means now I'm not 3 up. I'm 0
Could
up.
technically
and I'm almost
still
certain to
win.
lose.
All right. Fair enough.
I will take my 3 points.
yes. That's really the only reason I was in this game.
Right. Shoe shine does not trigger.
Me not getting
Fluttershy
3 points and him
will.
getting 3 points is bad. It's not good.
No home limit issues.
Bugle-
Back to you.
Okay, yeah.
Do that.
Bugle thought sway only worked from home. It doesn't, but it also didn't matter. I didn't need to do that move in order to confront.
And you hit the other
So
sway.
start the turn stuff.
Which is
Draw.
kind of good.
Yeah.
I would have preferred
Yeah,
final question,
That's
for
the
sure.
correct play.
Because now
much as I
you've
hate
got the
it.
momentum, and while you're not likely to DFO here, it's like,
Bye bye.
he could set up and
Fair enough.
get the 3 points
He's
again if he
frightened.
works hard enough.
Very important
Okay,
to
well,
process this fright. And
I mean,
that's not going to be
Yes.
relevant for a little while because we got board wiped. Nothing matters anymore. It's all gone.
and
And
of
back,
oh,
reset the board.
okay. Well, oof. Maybe I should have gotten rid of that speech. Pretty obvious, but whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do you have a medium?
I probably
I-
should have hesitated
I
a
have
second
Scooter
longer.
and
I
Throw.
always
I'm
forgot
I
that
should have given
I
like
forgot
a second.
that
I forgot that
Pegasi
Scooter
can
was the
hit
mediate.
speech. I was just in the
That's okay. I'm
Yeah.
still probably gonna win.
Yeah, I had
it's fine.
3 Pegasi,
Okay.
so it would have left me only shoe shine. I would have done it considering
Your go.
how likely
My go, he says.
I mean,
It won't hurt my feelings.
how likely that was to be a Wrath of Gilda. The 1 shoe shine is still pretty good.
yeah.
I'll draw once.
But I've got entry. It's not a huge deal.
From here on out, though,
I'll
I've
pass.
got double Spitfire off that, which is very nice on my side. But I am on the AT disadvantage. I am on the tempo disadvantage. So
I too shall pass.
All right.
Riveting
So we
content.
both
just kind of
Yes.
wait around
Most
because
riveting.
we just got board wiped and can't do anything. So I still don't have a Philly Racers or a snack stand, which is how, in the mid game, I like to fund my operations. However, this hand is fine. I've got a shoe shine, which is amazing. The issue is I don't have a lot of shoe shine fodder. Everything on my board is pretty big. I do have the 1 Yona, which is, it's okay here. I'm not complaining. It's a little hard to actually enter for her because I need that 1 more yellow. But
2 for dash.
Yona is kind of
Yep.
nice. She has benefits being swift, and also once we get towards the late game, it becomes more likely that
3
I'm
for
willing to
Fluttershy and
bounce
Bulk.
my opponent's stuff.
Yep.
Because if I'm only a turn or two from the end of the game, putting
I
a
will
card back into his
confront
hand
method
doesn't
overacting.
necessarily give him gas because he may never
I
have time to play
will.
it. So I'm glad that I saw that one Yona that's still left in my deck.
Spitfire, Bulk. Discarding.
So looking at it now, I'm wondering if I should have Spitfired here and rather just let you
All right.
go for it
so-
and try and confront you out.
It was a good
That's fine, back to you.
call because I was preparing for a double face-off
Uh,
with
Oh,
the Swinging Wonders.
Yep.
And so you
move
took
Shimano
me
up.
from being able to do that to just doing nothing instead,
yeah.
which is quite solid, and I was
I
quite
will
bummed.
Move to confront for a point.
Point is good.
Yours.
Right. And then I had the
4
second
actions, draw.
Spitfire. That's back up.
Now I have a
So,
snack stand, and I have to start doing a calculation here. How many turns do I think are left in the game? Because if it's 2 or less, then snack stand is worthless. And I'm running these numbers. If I DFO here, which there's no reason I wouldn't, unless, maybe Pancake has Spitfire or something, but impossible.
I just played one.
If I DFO here, then I get 5 points probably,
2 to
and then
rally
it's
these chumps.
almost a certainty that I would win the turn after, assuming nothing crazy happens.
1 for
So
Shoeshine
I
at home.
decide
Yep.
probably the snack stand is
I'll
not
attempt to
going to
confront
end up
method
paying for
overacting.
itself,
You got it.
and I just need to keep up the
Mm.
actions, keep
Then
the
I
tempo,
will
which is kind of a weird
Swinging
call.
Wonders.
Like,
Yep.
really, this could have gone either way.
Pulling
but
these 2, which
I
causes
decided
2
to
triggers.
bet on
First being
myself.
Traveler.
And betting on myself here means
Second
I'm going to
being-
close out the game. I don't need the snack stand.
The swaying thing. I'll confront swaying.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, I'll attempt to confront swaying.
So I had initially planned to just stop that confront and then
Really have to win this
try
face
and
off.
fight you over
All right.
it.
Ready for flips.
But I
rather
actually
double. But
have
yeah,
enough
whatever,
in any 3 of those characters to DFO there.
And that's
So I see why you would want me to stop, because
6,
me winning this
10.
face-off is almost certain destruction.
yeah.
16 is what I count for me.
Right, this face off.
3, 6, 8,
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, Bugle correctly calling me winning this is
Uh,
insta-win.
Leaving
Like,
the
there's
hardest of
nothing
cards.
that can be done, except for the fact
Spitfire,
that,
drilling it in, discarding.
I would have to take both
and
bulk triggers,
attacking your bulk.
which, would be good, but now
That's
when the
yours
bulk
then?
is gone, so I can't.
believe that's tied.
Except for the fact that
no, I'm
I
at
didn't
13, you're at
even
13,
win
I
it.
I think did that just tie us, or I don't remember here. think-
It looks like we're
That's
flipping
yours.
again, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have now given my opponent 6 points from face-offs, and I am feeling a little cross. I mean, not cross, but
You
disappointed.
have been nice.
And is that another card
No
that
home limit issues.
isn't
Fluttershy
final
triggers
question, I
before that
see?
happens. Back to you.
All right.
Hey, that should have showed up earlier. I could have
Five,
so totally dealt with that
1.
earlier. That would have been beneficial.
Well, what does give me some solace is the card that I draw for Stunning Wonder, is a dilemma, which puts enough points on board for me to win next turn. Otherwise, because that wasn't a final question or swaying the sea ponies, there are only 4 points on the board, and I'm out of luck. But
I'll
I
move
did draw a
both
dilemma. I
Spitfires up.
just need to triple confront.
Wait.
That's not easy,
I moved
but
slow
as
enough,
long as
sorry.
Pancake can't counter
Sure, that's
Shoeshine,
fine.
That's the
it's
problem.
it's
Um,
okayly doable.
And I will
Yeah.
move to confront
I
for a point.
I
Confront is good.
quickly realized that no, I'm a fool. I need Rainbow
right.
Laser here to stand a chance. And so
What do I got in me?
it's not
I got
Spitfire
this
that I
in
need
me.
up there. It's Solano.
Yeah, so this holding for this rainbow
an
laser,
8.
it's basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's
Just
also a
win
Hail Mary.
win my bonus
Pretty
points
sure
a third
if-
time in a row.
I win.
If you do that,
A
you'd win the
triple face-off,
game.
you can't
I sure
stop
hope
me
you
from winning
don't.
the game. So I think I have to try that.
So this basically, it's clear that I have
Alright,
to go
one
for
for
DFO
Sanctuary
here because
Construction.
Pancake could just
trigger
win next turn
Fluttershy.
probably. And it really just goes down to who has these face-off points. That person will win the game.
2
I want it to be me.
Fluttershy.
Pancake, who do you want it to be?
Well, for heightened sensation, it is of course going to
One.
be you, because then it's much better for me to
Gruff
come back as
here.
the underdog. But we all know it's already me.
Yeah, you're just gonna clean sweep me instead.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just
as
blanking, but I think it's
it was called out, this
safest
match is going to be less than an hour total. I mean, we
go
got the whole
Fluttershy
thing
and
under
bulk.
30 minutes.
Then stuck together gives us
We-
both an action, but I think
we are
yours
at-
isn't the
Yeah,
biggest deal.
at this point, it's already
Yeah.
I wish
We'll
that
see.
had mattered.
that one
Then I'm gonna
action
put down
from
a Yona over here. I think.
from stuck together.
Yes.
I think it's all pretty
Okay.
cute. Bugle is calling.
I am going
Yeah.
to
Yona is the key
move
to victory
the
here.
score
And
face.
yeah, it's amazing.
Annoyingly so.
All right, I'm gonna eat this
I
Fluttershy
felt like
bulk,
I was taking a
move
big risk
Shoeshine
by giving
here.
Pancake that one extra action, but I don't think
Taking
there's
this trigger.
anything in his deck that
I
would
will
like
confront,
trick me in
moving
2
out,
actions
'cause
here.
Grandpa Gruff is big
So
enough.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I
I
just
really-
wanted to optimize the number of actions
Then
I could get so that I could bring every character up
I'm
and do
going to
absolutely everything I could to win this gold darn DFO.
Grimmage Shoeshine.
Which had been stolen
Eating.
twice.
So I get my triple confront here. I gotta math it out in the right way.
Eating Grandpa Gruff.
So what I'm doing here is I'm
I'm going to
trying to
confront
hedge.
stuck together.
You got it.
I don't
I'm
like
going to
eating
bounce
Grandpa Gruff
Spitfire.
there, but what I'm doing is I'm keeping 3
Now I know,
Pegasi
I'm
on my
worried.
board.
Then
So that if something happens, like if he does frighten something when I
gonna
don't
move
expect
Shoeshine
it,
again.
then I can use Scooter to get just a little more strength and hopefully
Confront the silent
salvage
treatment.
the disaster that would occur if he did frighten me where I wasn't expecting it.
I think there's
so
no possible.
doing that makes me lose Grandpa Gruff, who was
No.
3 strength, and it's
If
kind
you
of a bummer.
somehow couldn't
if I
single
didn't
confront next turn,
do
then it's
enough
still good for me to
confronts,
do
then
as many confronts as possible.
then I
here.
would be out of luck. So I
I'm
just
gonna
went
do
for
this
it.
confront
My argument there
because
is
there is an
I wanted
incredibly
to
niche
quad
possible
confront
world
like
where it
GP
matters.
mentioned,
Yep.
because
All right.
And
Yeah.
we have the face.
there was a scenario I could
power?
imagine
Oh, yeah,
where
that's a
Pancake
good
wins this face-off and
So this is
somehow
6,
cannot
9,
single confront
12,
the turn after, and it's like,
14
if
before
that
flip.
did happen, I'd want that 14th
14.
point. So I went for the
I'm
quad
at
confront.
10.
Here's
19,
the asking
19.
numbers. Hey!
Now is the
You just
moment of
had to flip
truth.
that high. So
I needed you
that's
to flip
but
like a 3, I
need
think,
I need
and
to
I would have
see
had a
how my Hail
chance.
Mary would have played
but-
out. Go!
Not
Go! That
bad.
was winnable.
Oh man, you were close.
I apologize
Yeah,
for
If I
that
hadn't gotten
streak.
rid of Spitfire, that'd be a tie.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
16 on my side.
So Yona actually did do the
And here you are
difference.
calling this a
Yeah.
boring invitational.
And I always would have
I
been able
mean-
to confront that problem deck is set up so that I
Ah.
can always do one friend in Solano.
Yeah, victory's pretty much guaranteed there if I didn't win that. But I did. Oh my goodness. It isn't a sweep. I'm on the board.
It could be a reverse
It
sweep.
could be a sweep. Well, but we were speculating that you were going to sweep me.
Right.
The poor guy who couldn't even get entry.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah, so that's our game 1. Some bonus points going the way of Pancake, but
Yeah.
not enough. Not enough.
I am glad I lost that after seeing that early prereq issue. Whoops. But that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's on me too. I guess I wasn't expecting. I wasn't really looking that early in the game for that sort of thing. Oh well.
Yeah, our conception is that Solano is always flipped and it's just like you don't think about it.
Right. And it's like, oh, of course Solano's flipped. And then I was thinking later, Solano's not flipped. I don't know, Prism Light. The problem with Capalti attack is it ends up being real bad against some things, and it's got a 4 flip versus the Griffin one, which is a 5 flip. But I don't know. I tried taking the idea that I could just board wipe into a win typically, but these blue-yellow decks have so much redraw and continual threats that I have not been able to find that strike and balance yet in the deck. But it is true. I do think I need something in there more.
Well, I felt pretty good about my Fluttershy here. I mean, we saw some of the challenges. My entry is a little fast and loose. I don't play that many dilemmas, but it didn't quite shoot me in the foot. So
Yeah.
I call it a win.
I call it a win. That was 15 points.
That was 15 points.
That was 15 close points.
Yeah.
I almost scored half my points off of you.
Well, I mean, yeah, I scored like 21 points. Just 6 of them were for you.
Right.
Yeah, so that does take us over to Adventure for Game 2. Now, the deck choices in Adventure are a little interesting because you both did bring Hot Wings.
Yep.
I can tell the audience that it's not going to be a Hot Wings mirror. In this match, Pancake chooses his Luna deck. Eminently plays his Lyra deck.
The reasoning here is we don't know who, or we do know who's going first, and Hot Wings going first against Hot Wings is probably going to win.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not that cut and dry, but it is a big advantage to go first. And that's not acceptable. Additionally, I kind of built Pukum around Hot Wings. We'll talk about it when it comes, but I feel pretty confident here. I've gamed this out. I have a lot of ways to shut him down.
All right.
I also didn't want to run my farm up against Pukum. Like, it just there's so many good tools in there that consistently shuts farm down. So
right.
Yeah, Bugle's mentioning that the Lyra is kind of favored against both of the blue decks. As you just said, the farm can kind of get shredded by Jest. It's just really hard to make any progress. And then the Luna also has trouble here. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I brought a Hot Wings killer because Hot Wings is something that I expected to come to this Invitationals. And I've got a plan for it.
Yeah.
And
we've got Lyra on screen right now. Pukum, sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm sure people are probably pretty familiar with this, but you can give the intro anyway.
Yeah. So, I'm not offended if you've never seen my pet deck before. This is a kind of specific type of deck that only I and Pancake play. Pancake played this in the last Invitationals, and I was very flattered. So the idea of this deck is one of the key cards here is Apple Bloom Remarkable, which you don't typically see in anything because she's a 1-drop, and it's hard to slot that into things. But because it's Adventure, you run Trading Traditions, you can play that Apple Bloom turn 1. And we also have Follow My Lead in this deck. We cannot play Follow My Lead as a card. We don't have white. White is the trash color for trash people. What we do is we use Apple Bloom, we discard Follow My Lead, we move stuff. We have Pirate Ship here. We take Follow My Lead back. We turn Apple Bloom basically into a consistent action generator who only costs 1 AT to play initially. With Lyra, where in order to flip, you already have to discard a lot of things. Even if you haven't seen a Follow My Lead in the beginning of the game, if you see an Apple Bloom then, it's not really a problem to just throw away all your good stuff because Lyra's going to do that anyway. Okay, Bugle calling me out. Remarkable has always seen play because she's amazing. It's true, but Orange doesn't always see play except for Farm, and Farm doesn't run Remarkable. I know there have been a lot of decks that have run Remarkable, but not typically at the very top of the ladder.
And for the most part, it was orange purple, and the AJ farming AJ is better.
Yeah.
Factory Jack.
It's true that I think Spookum McCookum also may have run Apple Bloom for some incarnations, but that barely counts because it's the same name. Mono orange control. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Rose-colored glasses, pink-colored glasses, even.
Orange-colored glasses.
And I see that your sideboard is everything
Yes.
Dash hates, so good thing I didn't run Dash into
Yeah,
this.
so I've got all sorts of... So I kind of vacillate between calling this an aggro deck and a mid-range deck. At this point, I've pushed it back towards a mid-range posture. This deck has a lot of techie cards that are just counters for like specific things or specific archetypes. It makes sideboarding fairly straightforward. I don't need problem replacement against Hot Wings, and resource removal is not a huge deal. Now, Hot Wings runs one really important resource for me, which is Trashed, and I do want to be able to counter that. But Big Mac is not my only resource removal because Daisy, Lily, and Roseluck hits resources. And that's only if you can exhaust them, but that's what Princess Combo Meal is all about, right? That can hit friends or resources. And so it gives me enough leeway that I can sideboard out Big Mac. I've still got enough resource removal to hit Trashed. I've still got... So like what we're mentioning here in the chat, we've got Desert Road, we've got Bailout. I have a lot of things that just completely turn off Hot Wings. If I can get a Desert Road out, basically what Pancake will have to do is play Trashed, or else like it's just gonna destroy his board and he's gonna run at like a quarter efficiency for the rest of the game. I want to get that as soon as possible, and this is a pink deck. It draws like crazy. So I can pretty much bet that I'm going to get to one of my 2 Desert Roads quick enough to be just fine. I also have Bailouts, which turned Luna off for a while, and Princess Combo Meals. So once we get to the mid game, I can turn into a hard control as far as Luna is concerned, and she cannot turn stuff off. Completely turn off actually just exhausts a single character, but a single character is basically all you need in Hot Wings.
Yeah.
Everything is based on Luna, and it becomes very hard to confront without Luna.
Yeah. Well, I think...
Yeah,
that's my diatribe. You can go to Hot Wings.
Yeah, well, I guess just to point out that, well, yeah, the expectation is that you're going to be the slower control deck, although obviously still eventually hitting a mid game where you're scoring points and DFOing. But yeah, perhaps we shall switch over to Pancake's Hot Wings.
Bugle is expecting me to tear up. I hope I do. Let's make this a clean sweep. Let's bring me back on top.
Yeah. Now this is I think a slightly different Hot Wings, maybe because your other deck is also blue, and so you ran into some restrictions.
Yeah. So I had to clear out. I only have 1 staff. I only have 1 swinging wonders,
which is huge.
Yeah, and so what I kind of had to do was go, all right, I'm going to build just a threat deck. There's nothing, no tricks here. There's nothing special. I mean, Spitfires, of course. I've got, the typical Pinkie Pie package. And then I did throw in some stuck-togethers, but obviously against this, I took it out. Smile, smile, smile for a more controlling thing if I need to troublemaker bust, but against this, no troublemakers, took it out. So it was, how many threats can I develop? How consistently can I develop those threats? And for some reason in my madness, I took out my second honorary yak, which I probably should not have at the last minute. But despite that, that's what this deck does. It goes fast, it beats its head against a wall, and hopes it gets to 15.
Yeah, honorary yak is definitely good against a pink deck because I'm so often to be full on 8 cards.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's Hot Wings.
You're going pure aggro and trying to get to 15 as fast as fast as possible, pretty much.
Yep. No questions asked.
Alrighty. Shall we get to it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I did level off Eminently's audio for this one, so he should be a little bit. The in-game audio should be a little quieter. Let us get to it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's been a long time since I've played Hot Wings, so that's kind of what I went with Bugle, is just push as hard as I could and let the control player do the math. I shall keep.
It's a strategy that's less good against slower opponents, but better against quicker ones. And
AT.
Lyra is being the slow deck
Trigger.
here, but she's still not that slow.
No,
So
she's not.
up against something like a farm,
Joyous Pony.
running only threats like this might be more of a liability, but in this
And
matchup,
I
it's
will
not
move
bad.
Confront trading traditions for
Yeah, so I keep this hand because I get a turn one Dream Seized. Dream Seized is up to 3 in this deck. I didn't play it in the last Invitationals. I didn't mention that in the deck building portion there, but it is really neat. I like hand control.
I was so disappointed with this Dream Seized. Like, oh, it broke my soul. Kind of disappointed.
So starting with an Apple Bloom is amazing, and then I do Apple Bloom into a free Dream Seize, which feels really nice. I can see my opponent's
I
stuff.
imagine that over
I have 2
Gallus.
things that I can hit.
You're a good guesser.
Which would be Joyous Pony, or sorry,
Yeah, that
Joyous
would
Sea
have been
Pony
such a good turn too.
or Gallus.
Yes, it
But this way I can turn off the DFO. And I want to prevent and push off this DFO as long as possible, because me keeping the orange rec is actually pretty important to smooth out my entry curves. I don't have a trick yet, but this is still a pretty good outcome where I can just really slow down my opponent as much as possible, and then
no further questions.
hopefully with the Apple Bloom, I can get things as quick as I can and start to build my wall before any DFO happens. Bugle is pointing out, however, that I didn't actually turn off the DFO because Pancake has options here.
Yeah, but like the amount of resources now going into it is so much more rather than, you know, here's a hasty transform.
Right. The Pinky would have been just free money. Your hand's still full. You've got Joyous Pony in your hand, who's pretty good because she'll get you a draw at that point. And you've still got like 6 cards in your hand in that circumstance.
Yeah. And now I'm dumping everything into Angel Wings and getting a
I will move to confront Tarnished Reputation.
So I was hoping that this wouldn't happen. I was hoping that he was going to play a little more passively, but he did actually go for it. Just go all out, do the DFO, and it kind of hurts. I don't like this. Now, the upside is his hand is just gone. There's no hand.
Gallus.
What? No.
I just flipped into Family Feud. So I have
it's
even more
another
hand
party
control. I
match.
love hand control. You don't get to play hand control much, but Gallus is gone.
Those are such good hits.
So I've seen, I saw almost all of Pancake's hand. Then he threw it all away except one card that I still knew about, which was Gallus. So the only card left in Pancake's hand was his top deck. So I don't actually know what it is. Every other card that I saw last turn has left his hand.
Yep.
That's true. I do now know what it is.
Yeah. I was just kind of sitting here going, well, that happened. No.
Yeah, now, so I'm feeling pretty darn good here because your deck is now operating entirely by top deck for the rest of the game. However, I think it's worth noting, this flip, what I just flipped into with Lyra, is some of the worst trash I have ever seen in my years of playing Pukum.
Oh my gosh.
I really need to stop you confronting that final question. I have nothing in there. So I had a floating Apple Bloom discount So I needed to play something. I might as well. But I don't have any good orange cards to play here. So
3
instead, I'm just going to put down that Fire Friendship,
even odds.
enter into orange, threaten as though I'm holding Bailout, but I'm not actually holding
Well.
Bailout.
There goes that hope.
You can't bluff
I
an
need
opponent who doesn't
9 there.
think.
And draw.
You had no fear. And there it is. He top decked something that can get him the
Alright,
final
then.
questions, which is so painful. If he had drawn a 2 for 2, he couldn't do it. He'd just have no way to do it with 3 actions.
Yeah, I
then-
would.
You
I
would?
could have moved up
the score
Angel
phase.
Wings and then
Oh,
Spitfire,
and then play your 1 drop.
discarding,
yeah.
hit.
Oh man, that would
Apple
be
Bloom.
great.
Move
But I
Luna
kind of
up,
wanted to.
and I will attempt to confront final question.
Confront is good. Now you're down to 0 cards, so
Alright,
you're
yes.
really playing top deck for the rest
Right,
of the
but
game.
I wanted to get Apple Bloom out of play, force you on a little bit less AT, try and push that lead I have in point advantage.
Yeah.
Which ends up
Man,
being
imagine this if I had
utterly
2 cards.
useless. I
Well-
turned a card of yours that was nothing into something valuable.
Yes. So that
There's probably
is
screaming at his screen right
another
now.
thing that I just adore about this deck. I get to play Brayburn. People don't play Brayburn much, but it makes me so much more robust to Frighten. Your opponents get so disappointed when you play Brayburn because, like, okay, well, he's not that good inherently if you aren't using him tactically.
Can't summon Brayburn.
But so one
Only
thing that's
2
funny here is I
orange.
can't actually summon Brayburn.
Well,
But if I banish Brayburn, then I can summon Brayburn. This is the Brayburn show. And now I've got the Apple Bloom back,
What?
and I can
That's
still
not
use her as an
fair.
action gen here. So I'm not really set back at all. The only downside is I had to play a Brayburn, which I probably wouldn't have, but it's fine. It's not really.
He ends
a
up being
problem.
pretty solid here.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
still don't have any Frighten tech, but I can at least put down this Berry Punch, which will give me Draw tech. And if I can get to Draw tech, then I can start to salvage this nonsense. However, I have to make a decision here. Do I push aggressively for myself with the Berry Punch, or do I slow him down by playing the Desert Road here? And what I calculated is
Back to you.
if he has one more good turn in this game, I'm going to lose.
Oh wait, actually yes.
Because my board has finally
odd.
started to look okay, but it's 0 to 7. I'm on a timer.
no change.
Even if I manage to lock him down pretty well, it's still not a guarantee that I can come back from 0 to 7. So I decide I can't quite bet on me yet. I need to bet against
I
him.
will pay 1 and draw.
Bugle mentioning I play Desert Road against an empty hand. But that's how utterly terrified I am. Because if he gets a Swinging Wonders, like, I will probably lose, like, outright
Yeah.
that moment.
I will pay 1 and draw.
And at this stage, I was just trying to build up resources. I had a confront and final question, nothing to really push hard in any direction. Watch how effective this
Pay 2.
party mare is during the entire
Pay
match.
Holiday Spirit, not trigger Luna.
It never did
And I
a
will move to
thing,
confront
I
final
don't
question
think, in the
probably.
entire match. Maybe it does later, but up to this point, it's been utterly useless.
4 actions. Ready. No start of turn triggers. I'll draw a card.
But
Okay, so I feel validated here. My opponent has not DFO'd. I'm not utterly destroyed. However, I still don't have any exhaust. So at this point, I need to start running. What I would love to do would be to just draw and build up my control.
1 to use it on Lyra.
But I'm kind of on a time limit here because as soon as Pancake draws into resource removal, he can have some big burst turns that I struggle to counter. So I need to start putting my clock on.
Yep.
I need to start scoring because I'm at 0 points still, which is not where this deck wants to be.
Which is in part, Bugle, why I was
10,
drawing. I was
Yes,
trying to
will
get to
move
my
this go first
trashed.
to confront
You
my
got it.
first point.
Woo!
Back to you. So I found a bailout.
You're catching up.
Things feel a little okay. The issue
Okay.
is
How much power do I
I'm
have
still
here?
so far
I'm sorry.
behind
Before the
that
draw,
even
should've
if
done
I
this.
start DFOing turn over turn,
Even
like
odd.
it's gonna take me a while.
Odd. Okay.
So I still need to be very
Moves.
careful here.
And that
Alright.
move there actually kind of screwed me because now
I have
I
4
couldn't
power there.
hasty over into the other problem very easily due to the fact that I needed 4 blue at final question.
I will move to confront final question for a point.
Confront is good. It's also annoying that even though I'm starting to build up my hard luck, he's still single confronting, which really puts the timer on me because that means I've only got like 6
Rutherford
turns as an
over.
absolute max, which at
I will
one
move
point
to confront
is for a lot of
Hamilton
decks insurmountable. For
for
this
a
deck,
point.
it isn't. I can start
You've
scoring
got
very quickly.
6, 9,
but
and you need 9.
I'm sweating.
Yep.
I will bail out Luna.
Okay.
Discarding Fire Friendship.
I mean, I figured as much, but I had
So
to
he
force
had
you
a
to use
credible
it.
threat of a
Yeah, of
DFO,
course
which
you
would
gotta
have
go
been
for it. You gotta
a
get through the turn
catastrophe.
phase.
Yeah.
Luckily, his Rutherford
Okay.
doesn't trigger there
4
because of
actions.
the
The
desert road.
No starter
So
triggers.
I
Draw
have enough
card.
time to get something out here.
Okay.
Now, the
Fighting.
issue is I don't
Start out
have
by
much to
dropping
go on
berry
here.
for draw.
Like, I
Yep.
can pretty much just play a berry punch and call it a
And-
day.
That said, that desert road was wreaking havoc with me at this point because I'm drawing into Hasty, Frightened Friends. I'm drawing into a Pinky that's supposed to be 4 power when she comes out, but
Use
now
the
was initially
ship.
just 2.
On Lyra. Follow my lead.
So I end up paying to move with the pirate ship
Exhaust.
because I
Apple Bloom,
only
discard,
had
follow my lead.
5
Go down to
cards
0
in my hand.
actions, which I do not like for another.
Hey.
and I couldn't actually
Exhaust her to draw.
play. Well,
Mhm.
I couldn't exhaust Apple Bloom, the hold an
Each
action,
of the berry punches
and
is 5,
play
so
the
we're
berry
gonna
punch.
provide Just one.
So I couldn't.
I will
Well,
start
all right,
out
I would play the
attempting
berry
to
punch,
confront
but she would be at
final
5,
question.
You got
and
it.
she wouldn't allow me to
And then the
DFO
other.
there.
You got
So
it.
because I was
have a
1
face-off.
card short,
I've got 50.
I had to spend that action, which means I'm not holding AT
I
for the
have
bailout that I
3,
have
6,
because of the difference of a single
10,
card,
12.
which means that I
15
can't
with
protect
dream or
myself
without
here.
dream?
Before
It's
dream,
not
so 18.
even that
18,
likely
and I'm
that
at
Pancake
14.
can DFO here,
All right.
but I hate that I'm in this situation. I have to move. I have to start DFOing. I need those 4 points. If I don't get the
Come
4
on,
points here,
not final
I basically have
question.
no path to winning this game. But this particular turn, I'm undefended. It's the only turn left in the game where I'll be undefended. And he just saw his second final question.
4AT, start of turn, even,
So
odd.
that's fine.
Yeah, this is fine.
Up.
Better lucky than good.
AT, Luna is only exhausted now. And draw.
Bugle, double final question changes everything. Yeah. This went from a game where I was feeling pretty good. Things
You
were
have
probably
no
going to go
AT.
fine.
I
And then
don't
his
believe that deck
second
has
and
any
third
zero
problem were
cost
final
tricks.
question, where this
I
deck
think I
takes a
always
little
just
time to turn on its control elements.
Move.
Ooh, it's bad. This is not losing for me
Move.
necessarily. Like, I'm looking okay here. But the fact that he's about to go to 11 points,
12.
And then
12
I will
points is
move to
bad.
confront for a point.
You're a wise man. You get it.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I was in
Okay,
deep trouble.
5 actions. Million readies. No start of turn.
So
Draw
at this
card.
point, I need
Luna's
3
4,
DFOs
right? Yep,
to
I'm
win,
good.
and he needs 1. I've
Berry
got
punch draw.
1 bailout, but I need to
Berry
draw more
punch,
tricks.
Draw. I need to draw a lot more tricks.
Exhaust apple bloom, discard a parachute.
So I'm using my berry punches, but that turn I didn't draw any more tricks. That's okay. I've still got one bailout. That's going to buy me time. He shouldn't be able to DFO next turn. And if he can only do single confronts for the rest of the game, I'll still win. Because if I double confront every turn, I'll get to 15 slightly before he would single face off.
Free Daisy Lily and Rose.
Well, single confronting every turn.
The secret discount as well.
Okay.
I put down the Daisy Lily and
You can
Rose
stack
luck
that however you like, I assume.
kind of for two reasons.
Yes.
One is there are some conceivable circumstances where Pancake does a face-off that is not predicated on Luna, and this allows me to dismiss a friend, which would just be kind of
Fire
nice.
chip.
It's not really necessary because
One
exhausting
card
the friend would work
here,
too.
Follow my lead trigger.
But more importantly, if I do later get a princess combo meal,
Hell, I missed one of
then
those
I can
last year
at
and it
immediate
lost me the
speed
one of my
destroy
games.
Trashed. And that is a huge kind of peace of mind thing, because if he gets trashed, that's his only way of, for that turn, like he could do whatever he wants and almost certainly win the game that turn. This way I have insurance, but it's only if I can draw into a combo meal later.
Yeah, I'll keep it that way. I'll confront secret first.
I've got 6 cards in my hand, which is all I need to DFO. As I've stated, I need to DFO every turn this game for the rest of the game
I've got 3
in order to win.
5,
So you're going to see that happening.
9, 12.
19 over here.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll see me constantly count my power on my side. That's just me being a farm player. Like it was never even close.
Yeah, once I get 2 berry punches out, the Hot Wings is not competing on strength.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
back
just
to you.
Now, Tarnish totally triggers here.
I'm sure, yes.
Unfortunately, I have more. And Party Mare triggers. Even odd. Okay. No, Party Mare. Why are you not blue?
yeah. Now Party Mare has
And
yet again proven
and
that
Luna is finally
she
up.
provides no power of
Alright,
relevance
then.
anywhere.
Yeah.
I will start.
If she were helping win these face-offs, it would be great, but she's not.
She's not helping confront. She's not.
A to move, 2 to move spit.
Yeah.
A2 to move Luna.
So Bugle is actually recommending do nothing, I think, to save up
And
for a
I will
really
move to
big
confront
turn where
Tarnished
you
Reputation.
DFO.
Tarnished is
But I don't hate your strategy here, which is
And
you
yours.
can DFO this turn. So just
Alright.
go ahead and start burning through all of my tricks.
Yeah.
Buyback.
I ended up
I
not
got
doing it.
Let's drop money.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Oh, I
See,
guess you
this
actually
is-
can't DFO because it's a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
is
I was
also-
expecting you to DFO, which is why I saved my trick.
In part, part of my
Main phase. Berry punch
lack
draw.
of aggro knowledge.
Okay, so you think it was a mistake to do that single?
I at this point looking at it, yeah. For
I think
me,
that's fair.
I'm just so used to
This parachute.
where I always am trying to push over that final edge line, where I'm always 12 to 13 to 14 to 15 is my hardest points to score. So I'm always trying to get anything. But that said, I'll still have 8 AT. I'm threatening there, right? You have to do stuff. It's not like
Yeah, so
Start with a free shovel.
I've been getting massive draws here, and I haven't found another trick, so I'm pretty cross. I was considering paying 1 to draw, but instead I can pay 1 to play a shovel and a Haven Bay, which gets me a draw as well as the next turn. However, it's another thing that isn't a trick. My last flip was a food fight for those keeping count at home.
2 to move the fleet.
So here I think I decide not to pay to draw twice. Oh, yes, I get one for Dream Seized.
Yeah, you go for the.
I get the Dream Seized. See what my opponent's hand is. It's actually pretty underwhelming.
Well,
okay.
you're facing up against 3 hasty friends on N8 AT, right? Like,
yeah.
That in and of itself is terrifying against Luna.
Yeah, so there's no one thing that I can really hit there that does anything special because the hasty friends are just hasty. That's their only effect.
Yeah.
With the desert road. But if you happened into a frightened event,
what are you
then
16. Never mind.
Then the seeing things would have been very, very good. So for sure I hit that. Discard or not discard. And then at this point, I only have the one trick, but it's a bailout, so that's not bad. And I'm at 12 points.
And that's
so I just
8 confront too. So
yeah, that's typical. I think 7 is my lowest. And 10 is my highest.
Draw.
So the deck is in the problem deck as well, built against aggro. Because non-orange aggro typically just scrapes up the meagerest amount of strength necessary to get to the problem. But in this case, not.
Yep. Yeah.
And here is that one time where all of your saying, "Hey, Party Mare doesn't do anything." Except when she contributes like 6 power to that 8 that you desperately need to win the game.
Yep.
Okay, let me see if
I
can.
Look, Party Mare.
I
played you so many turns ago, and now you're actually worthwhile.
So
yeah, she's huge. If I had that food fight, then it wouldn't be a problem. So if I had 2 tricks here, it's so hard to DFO through 2 tricks because you have to over confront by 2 things at both problems. But over confronting enough,
I will
just for the single through a single trick.
I'll
is
attempt
doable.
to confront lacking lessons plan. I went with Pinky because she confronts that on her own, and that would give me
I think you got
the capability to jump to the other. But I guess Glider is the exact same in that regard, actually. So
yeah, it's an equivalent position.
Oh, no. So what I was thinking was actually if he did have 2 tricks, I could Rutherford up to there and then Spitfire over to the other side.
Oh, yeah. No, this is actually much better, I think. Yeah, lacking lessons. Yeah, because if I bail out Luna and you were planning to use Luna to confront both problems,
Rutherford,
then you're in trouble.
swing Luna up. Yeah. I will move to confront Friendship Overboard.
But yeah, you did it. I will bail out the Party Mare and Killer with Daisy, Lily, and Roseluck. You have.
How could you? She was
have just
partying that
enough.
entire time and did nothing wrong. And there's 8.
Yep.
Okay. And then, of course, face off. But
you do need to win the face off.
All right.
You won the face off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
So, pretty surprising outcome. I felt pretty confident here, but I did go second. And going second against Hot Wings hurts.
And I'll be honest, I definitely misplayed several times there. But final question.
I was really hoping for a trash.
It's worth noting at this point. We've talked about it.
Would have helped.
The players
actually that
have mentioned it,
helped a
but
lot.
We haven't mentioned it as commentators. Pancake is running 8 copies of Final Question in this Invitational.
Cards down. Are you kidding me? They were so far down. Oh yeah, I was looking for my trashed. It was way down there. So that wasn't ever going to be the out.
But yeah. Oh, I put all your eggs in the Final Question basket, and it paid off.
Yeah, it's an incredibly good card. I mean, it's unreal.
Especially if you can double confront off it, because then you've got a 5-point swing.
Yeah, just gigantic point load.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So that does take us into game 3. And the coin flip was adventure, meaning that we're going to see another Bluna here, as well as another farm.
Yeah.
So now I'm Hot Wings going first.
Oh crap.
So based on that, I'm feeling okay. I'm really not that worried here. Now, farm is historically a killer of aggro, but Hot Wings has enough tech. Pancake didn't have to tech out his Hot Wings to beat farm, but everybody else has to be able to beat Pancake, which means we need to tech against farm. Unfortunately, kind of hurts in this tournament. I'm running 2 different pink decks in Adventure, which means I cannot quite run a full suite of farm stuff. I've only got 2 Just Clowning Arounds in my Hot Wings deck here because I also need 2 in Lyra.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, because I had the blue issue where I've got these like one of that are real powerful cards, not in some of the decks, but that means you're borrowing from Paul to pay Piper with your pink and your
Yeah, it's not a huge liability, but it does make me a little weaker than I'd typically be in this matchup.
Did you make any heavy deck changes because of that, or were you just like farm and hopefully I won't run into Pancake?
No, in fact, so the last time I played Hot Wings in a major tournament was Vancouver, and there I built it specifically for farm because farm was so strong then. Triad was a thing. This deck is actually built less for farm, even though I was up against you, because I'm going to be up against other people later.
I'll just
and
put it up here for what it's worth.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about it this whole time. You know, win or lose, because this is a double elimination tournament. No matter what, I'm going to be playing people that aren't Pancake. So instead of Cardboard Box, which had been my tech to just eviscerate farm, I've got Riled Up here because I'm planning on other people planning on Luna, and Riled Up is the tech to turn off things like Bailout, which, in the last game, Bailout is how I had a chance to win that game at all, and Riled Up is a good answer there.
Yeah.
So in this matchup, it doesn't do anything. It's worse than Stop Fighting, though, because Stop Fighting would only hit uneven ground in my opponent's deck, which is just not relevant as a Hot Wings player.
Yeah.
So I took out all of my Stop Fightings. I still have one Riled Up. The reason why it's better, even though it flips lower, is because it does give Luna competitive 3. So it has a chance to swing a face-off in my favor in very silly circumstances.
Not against farm. Like, no, one trick 3 AT power after you've done a Swinging Wonders is actually really relevant.
Yeah. So let's talk about the key cards here. I don't play Trashed. I only play property damage. That's because I play this Luna with a little more tech in other areas, and I feel that property damage on her own as a card is so much stronger than Trashed because she's a 2-for-2 friend, that rather than making room for trash, I'd prefer to make room for things like Just Clowning Around or T-Rex Reign of Terror, different types of tech. That hurts me a little in this matchup because I have fewer answers to your resources. However, I draw like crazy. I'm probably going to find the property damaged. I've also got Discord, which is
real good.
Amazing. He's so good. He blows up troublemakers, but more importantly, he digs to my final questions. Final question. It makes you win games.
The real hard tech.
GP is saying that somebody's going to play Under Arrest to punish Luna, and I'm playing Riled Up. So, like, Riled Up is as good of an answer to Under Arrest as Trashed is. Like, neither of them are great answers. But
it is amazing to me how bad Riled Up is in core and how insane it is in Adventure.
Yeah. In a bailout meta.
Yeah. But
yeah, so oh, sorry.
Go on.
Yeah. I guess to transition over to you, Pancake. Eminently is playing first as with Hot Wings, but you are playing what I assume is what you sort of treat as your primary deck in Adventure, back on home turf, as it were.
Really, I feel so much nicer with Dash than I do with Solano. Solano is jank that I'm trying to put together. Dash is, hey, here's what I'm going to actually do. And in this matchup, I took out Winterzilla, no real resources to hit. Focused Attention, I took one out of because that's more of a control card, but the Riled Up, I was like, yeah, I'm never, like, it's a power trick, but I don't need it against non-orange deck. And it's your traditional farm, nothing too crazy about it. I do run Gigi, which is kind of a weakness on Pony of Shadows, but Pony of Shadows into Thunderlane is so insane you can't not. I do keep Uneven Ground in here, which maybe was the wrong choice over 2 Riled Up. In fact, I think it was. But it was something I missed when I was doing my sideboarding, and you're in the 3rd match and getting late, so that was definitely an error on my part. But it's farm. That's what you do. You run your face into troublemakers.
Yep, pretty much. It is going to be the 3rd game. We've got plenty of time and 2 blue decks, so time is not going to be an issue. You guys have anything to say before we get to it?
Nope. I'm feeling all right at this stage.
All right, let us go then.
I'm all.
I keep.
I did not have entry there. It was an easy decision.
I had staff. It was an easy decision.
So this entry suite is pretty solid. I have no complaints here. I do have a turn 2 DFO. It's not quite the canonical one, but it's what used to be the canonical one, which is based on Angel Wings. To you.
So
2 actions.
I had gotten worried about
the dash. Draw my card.
About a trash, and I needed
He's
my
sad.
staff to be able to play Grogar's
Here's-
Lair. So I just sat on it rather than
2
playing it,
actions,
which
draw,
he's got property damage. I should have played it.
2 actions.
action, 2 for an Angel
but-
Wings.
Okay. This is at least a card
So
dump.
I'm doing a turn 2 DFO going first here, which
Then I
is
will
precisely what I
turn from
needed.
Tarnish.
This is the right situation.
Free
Tarnished
honorary
Reputation
deck,
is so good for farm,
3 cards.
and
Yeah.
I get to make it go away, which is really nice.
That was a
I also
choice,
get some
though.
draws off of Honorary
Yep.
Yak, which is huge.
Yeah. I was like, hey, at least your card
Points.
advantage. Oh,
Face
wait,
up.
there's Yak.
I might
And
lose.
dash flips.
So if we
from that
contrast
10.
this to how Pancake was looking after his first
No curses.
DFO with Hot Wings, I'm feeling okay. I've got a huge hand. My opponent doesn't have that much set up yet. This isn't bad.
I'll take
But
it.
then he gets another Tarnished Rep. So
Not good.
he's
here,
still
but
going to be able to farm pretty
9.
efficiently. I need to
3.
blow this up as quick as possible. Hopefully next
Dash.
turn if I can.
Draw.
And I would have had
Staff.
a
Grogar.
I would have actually won that face off had I played staff. Which I was kicking myself a little bit for.
Yeah,
It's
it's pretty frustrating as aggro to go
Troublemaker.
up against farm.
Front for a
Okay,
point.
so like I said, I needed to get rid of the Tarnished Reputation, but he just put out a Grogar's Lair. There is no
Reaction.
possible way I DFO
So I was
with a Grogar's
I should have
Lair
played
out.
the staff last turn. I was wondering whether or not it vulnerable, so I couldn't play my Grogars though. Yeah,
I see.
here's me explaining that.
Probably should have just gone for it.
So
That
at
would've
this
gotten you
point,
that point,
I'm
but
kind
I'm
of
so far
worried.
behind, but
Like,
that's
I'm
okay.
still in a good position, but that early Grogar's Lair is probably the best possible outcome. And the thing is, he's able to enter that Grogar's Lair on staff, which I can't counter. Staff into Grogar's Lair here. I'm already a little worried, actually, on his second turn of this game.
Nonsense. You're Hot Wings. Just blaze on through everything and pay for a Grogar.
Sorry, I
I
didn't
go
hear
up
you
and
pass.
pass here.
Yeah, no worries.
It
3,
feels bad. Luna
nothing start.
can
draw.
single, kind of trivially, and
Flip.
just get 1 point.
I will
but
move to face off.
I decided I need a burst
8 on
turn.
6.
Preferably, if I can just wait to get to property damage, that would be great. Yeah, if I could get to 2 final questions, that would work.
Yeah,
I would.
You've got the Discord.
Yes,
Clearly.
I have 2 Discords. I could pay for my final questions.
So I was thinking about this, and I put the Grogar down as in case you were able to deal with the problem, or if you were, I could at least use it to go and fetch something the next turn.
Is it worth a?
Did you have that Grogar before, or was that new?
That was fresh draw.
Ugh, top deck.
Yeah.
They don't produce a threat right now. You can Pinkie Pie bounce.
So
2
here
of them
I'm
back.
thinking, look, he's got tarnished
I'm not
reputation.
color locking.
I
you
need
right
to try to
now
blow
in
this
any way,
up.
shape, or form.
So Pancake is talking about Grogar, which is good counterplay. It can frighten me. He can get rid of it to keep confronting. But I don't necessarily know about that yet. I'm still thinking.
I will move to the front for a point.
That's right. I paid 1 to draw that.
Reactions, draw a card.
Yep. Probably not the brightest of ideas, but
2.
I always hate running out of
Angel
resources
Wings
in
with
Dash,
Keeper.
especially when I feel like I need
Luna.
stuff.
Attempt to confront.
You got it.
Then I will pay. So 1. I go all out here. I'm doing the DFO and paying through the Grogar's lair. It whether or not to keep it.
Yep.
It hurts. But I'm doing it. So here I can DFO without paying to keep the Swinging Wonders, but I can also easily lose that face off if I do that. So I decide I'm going to pay to keep the Swinging Wonders, which puts me at an okay point advantage, where I think based on flip averages, I'm likely to win this.
I'm at 8, 13,
16.
16.
So I've got it here, but he had a trick.
Boo.
I was used.
That's
pretty good.
Oh, I will drop
tied
it.
us up, but I had a trigger to resolve. Yeah, at this point is when I was just tired of Yak, and Shield seemed useless. So I was like, those cards are not good.
I think
you're up by 1.
Am I? Okay.
I've got 16.
8, 13, 16.
Oh, all right. I was wrong.
Yeah. And
Right, we flip again, and it's a loss. So I paid 3 to keep that Swinging Wonders. It ended up still being good. It forced Pancake to pay 1 to play a trick. So still a good call, but always a bummer that he got that point. I do not see a final question here. Wow. Oh, hey, look, a final question.
I do see a final question.
Yeah.
But it's no worries. He's got a troublemaker there.
I can't
What
handle
could go wrong?
troublemaker.
Swinging Wonders.
Okay.
4, 1.
Prism pointing out that.
Flip.
Oh, yeah, Bugle mentioning here, I should have paid for the Riled Up. I agree. I should have done the Riled Up. I forgot. I forgot to do the Riled Up.
2.
I had boarded it out of my deck. Bugle's saying, it's only 1 point, but 1 less point for Pancake and 1 more point for me. If this was 7-4 right now, I would just be feeling generally a lot more confident. Because he gets to confront his final question basically just for free. It's trivially easy.
Yeah.
The troublemaker there.
I mean, I actually that was planned. That was not just on luck. I knew I needed it in the case of that situation.
Yeah, I had actually was debating Grogar over Nightmare Moon earlier, and I was like, well, if there's the double face off, I do need to be able to confront final. I had already been thinking that previously, especially since considering it was my win last.
Troublemaker. I will move to confront. Final question for a point.
Confront is good.
Yours.
You get 2 more points.
Oh, right. Thank you. You know, the thing final question does.
Buell pointing out Pancake has scored off of 3 final questions, me 0. I have brought 2 blue decks. He's brought 3, but I've brought 2. And we've seen, approximately the same number of problems for both of us.
Fool.
And then,
Uh,
also
we?
you got the 2 sways.
One of the
Very
most
silly.
foolish of fools. Whatever.
That's okay.
So me calling
don't
myself a fool was me
Yeah.
figuring out the riled up that I had missed.
Yeah.
Once again, that would have been a face-off being swung by the singleton copy of a card that I had boarded out 2 of.
Look, I'll feel a lot better if I can take a win off.
Very
off
annoying, that is.
Second with dash.
Very silly.
Yeah, this has been the start to do it.
I wanted this card so little, I tried taking it out.
Yeah,
You're
it still makes it
under
into the
Kroger's
hand, yeah.
layer pressure.
So finally, I
you've got
do
out,
see
but-
a property damaged. It didn't really take that long, but I would have liked it earlier.
The thing is, this is only like turn 6. Like the game had been moving so fast.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
2 for
I would
property damage
bet
at
it's
home.
probably
Hold-
lower. I
stop
guess it
fighting
can't be
property
less than
damage.
5.
Yeah. Here, I was
Well,
so
actually,
eager to
hold-
see the
that was
property
too quick.
damage
You had
that
to
with
discard
that I
those
kind of
later.
That's
But-
correct. Yeah. One
was
to
like,
keep.
oh yeah, I frightened it even
Pro-
before the
stop
Grogard
getting
trigger.
property damage.
So
Yeah. So that's a big old bummer. That's one of the issues playing
Sorry, I was
Hot
waiting
Wings
for that play, and it
is
just
that all of your friends are so expendable that if you have one friend that needs to stay on the board, probably your opponent is holding a trick for that one friend. So,
And
I
will retire.
obviously I'm bummed about that. He spends 1 action to take off 2 of mine, but I have to rally
limit
the property damaged even though I can't do any confronts because I need to turn off the Staff of
I will take
Sakanis.
away Stick's ability.
all right.
Because I need to slow him down because he has a point lead already and Troublemaker's out. This is bad news for me. So I actually need to take a little more of a control
I will
posture,
face off against
which
Shadows.
is depressing.
5 on 7,
Dang.
11 on 10.
Had to do a Hail Mary that would prevent it.
Yep.
Because of how dramatically losing this position is.
I mean, you went for the play that you needed. It just
yeah, I actually didn't want that Rutherford there, Hugo, because of exactly this. Gigi is a great card in this deck, but she is horrible off the Plenty of Shadows.
I will put
So
GG
because
here,
you only get a GG, you winning this isn't
and I will
guaranteed,
move
but
to
you're holding the
confront
Rutherford, so
Scarlet
it's
Glimmer,
all
sorry,
safe.
face off.
Yep.
9 on 7. Give me a sec to think.
The comment section is all pointing out how boned I am. I was of the same mind.
Swinging Ambassador over.
That'll be yours.
I do have a plan, but oh my gosh. Well, I didn't have a plan yet. I come up with a plan. Plans are hatched. Don't count me out quite yet.
So
I will move to confront surprise takeoff for a point.
Confront is good.
All right, yours.
5 actions.
Did I?
Ready draw.
I might have. Yeah,
you might have actually.
Yeah, that would have.
How
That
much
would have
don't I
changed
like
things.
this? Let me count the ways.
Well, but you didn't DFO, so you got 8, and then you scored
2,
4
So
points, which was 3 from
GG.
Troublemakers and 1 from
Reverse layer.
Yeah.
Confront. That sounds right to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah.
So at this point, like I hinted at before,
I will.
I am the control
confront
deck.
if you let me.
Yep, you got it.
I need to turn off his point scoring. So importantly, he did not play a troublemaker there.
Which
Um,
was silly.
So
Yep.
I have all sorts of, theoretically, I have all sorts of friend counterplay, and I can turn off his staff. So if I can just slow him down a bit, then everything would be fine. The issue is I have to do all of that through a Grogar's lair and no inherent action acceleration on my part. So I can control him. I can lower him all the way down to 1 point a turn at the cost
Alright,
of me scoring 1 point a turn.
Let me.
It's not quite a winning strategy just yet, but I have to hope that if I buy
K2,
enough time, I
move
can make
dash.
something work with my discords, because those can turn into 1 billion points.
K2. Unfrightened.
Mhm.
Now watch this sick play.
Okay.
I love that. I will move to confront Trot.
So he gets to go for the DFO, but I'm holding the trick. So I was hoping that maybe I could keep him down to, not even scoring that turn.
Okay, I will.
But he definitely is able to score. Now, what I'm doing here is I don't want him to get this single face off, because that would be bad. Like, it's another point for him, and he can almost certainly win the next turn. So I need him to only gain 1
I
point,
still
which
go
means
up to 13
I need to
points,
flop
though.
my own GG, which is a bummer, but it's not so
And
much of a
yours.
bummer because she's better from the discard anyway. The issue is that means once again I'm so action starved. Like, I need to double twice more in this game to win.
Pay 2.
And I still have a Grogar's lair, and I'm not even confronting
property
one
damage,
thing.
1 to keeper.
So now I'm doing a property
So that's
damage
property damage to
shtick.
take away Stick's ability.
Yep.
So I've got 2 property damage, which is
Confront,
great.
Train of Terror.
Yep.
Frightening GG.
What I have to
Yep.
do here is I'm taking away Stick on his turn, so that if I single confront, he doesn't have a face-off.
My
And
poor
then on
stick.
his other turn, or on his turn,
Trashed
I
would
need
be
to take
a
away
lot
the stick
easier in
again.
this
So it's
particular
2
case.
property damage just to take away 1 stick, which is not good.
Okay. Let's have some fun. Why don't we?
Don't do
Let's focus our attention on Trot.
it. Oh boy, all right.
Let's get to see play now. So this was a foolish mistake because I missed that
Move to confront
dash
Trot.
was exhausted. I missed the problem.
Yeah, so he was hoping
Oh, that's not a
for
face-off because you shot.
face-off
Dang
here, which would
nabbit!
be an instant win. But he doesn't get it. So now
Yeah.
I need to
Oh,
win the
I
game.
missed that. Whoops.
And I have a plan. I figured it out. I have enough time here.
Yeah.
As I
guess
said,
that's your turn.
I'm the control deck.
Okay.
I'm going to be able to turn off his staff
well
on his turn,
It's not like it's
and I
especially
can hit a
likely I
friend
can
with
win this.
Rutherford. But the
Let's
key,
see,
furthermore, I can play the discords, and I can put down landmines that will explode at whatever problem he's going to try to confront. So I have 2 discords, and I can still hold for a Rutherford. I put the discords at either problem that he's got some presence at, where the Frightened GG is or where Dash is. So I force him
There's
to
obviously nothing
move
preventing you
to
from
Final
moving
Question
next
instead,
turn. Like,
to put
it's
all of his
impossible.
effort into single confronting at Final Question.
So
Then I drop the
how do I
Rutherford.
score
He
second?
doesn't get a single point. And then,
With
since I loaded up a Discord and have the ability to pop it, on my next turn, I
or what
play a
if,
Final
and hear
Question,
me out,
Mhm.
or
you do the
I pop it
dumbest
into Final Question,
shit
and I
imaginable.
do enough points
I
to
think I'll
actually
go
win the
with that.
game,
All right,
and I'm a
property
hero,
damage
and
on,
everything is amazing.
Grogar's lair.
Yeah.
actually.
Well, that is undone commentary
Two.
by my stop fighting.
Discord.
Yeah, there's a
Hold.
reason why I described that lovely
yeah, yeah.
outcome
Yeah,
instead
sorry.
of waiting and letting you all watch it play out.
Which I have an aversion to Discord, so I
Let's pray
rather
for
than
Discord.
being smart and doing that as I saw now, I went for it. I went for
List of
Discord
things I
here
was hoping to not
because I just wanted to force the
was
AT out
That's fine. Because I wasn't.
Yeah, I think,
actually
you know,
planning to
because
win
there's
this
this reasonable
tournament. I was
assumption that if I'm
planning
playing
to do
Discord, it means that I'm going for final
dumbest
question.
Yeah.
thing
The issue was I
imaginable.
can't actually afford that and win this turn, which is
Hard.
why I hatched my incredibly elaborate plan that just fell apart.
Yep.
I try to salvage it here. So I'm still doing some math, but everything is 1,000 times worse here.
Now, but it's
And
still the right
just then I
play.
made a fatal mistake.
Oh, really? That was on the top. I'll keep
I
it
mean,
there.
it's quite
Oh,
possible
wonderful.
that I was going to lose by like a
yeah.
mile anyway.
Right.
But
I
go into this confront at Tyrik's Reign of Terror, and I realize, oh, crud.
Stick.
Yep.
He has stick. I would cause a single face-off that he would win. So I actually have to
Confront
exhaust
Tyrik's
dash
Reign.
here, which means I can't take
Error.
away
Like
the
that.
stick
I
on
guess
his
I did
turn,
that. Back to you.
which means that I just collapse utterly. So I went from having a beautiful dream to having absolutely nothing. And there's no way I can
You've
stop
got
him from
Discord
single
there.
confronting
You
here.
can pay one to immediately vanish. All right.
At this point, you know, you're doing due diligence. You saw me play all of that stuff, and you're like, does he have a plan? He must have a plan. And so you're still going to work hard to make sure you can
So if I
confront
just
here.
move
But
over to
Well, you
final
still had the
question, I
Discord,
win.
right?
right,
But
you have to
let's
move to some other problem.
play
Yeah.
things a little safe. I'm going to face off against Discord.
Yeah, I wanted to get just force Discord down. That's actually with the GGs in the deck. That was probably wrong, and I should have just moved over. But
I will move dash up. I will move to confront surprise takeoff.
You got it. I forgot I didn't have a dash left.
good game.
That's it.
I mean, I would have let you take that back, but like,
Well, I mean, it was.
Oh.
I am laid low.
Beagle is right. You did not process the chaos on that, but like, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people. So Bugle says that this was fun. A lot of people have been shaming this tournament because of all of the stunning wonders and all of the Luna Pinks. And I think that this tournament is going to be fantastic. I think there's more variation than people expect in those decks. And furthermore, I think that you aren't going to see that many mirrors because the mirrors are all 50-50 and people are trying to do better than 50-50. Okay, people haven't been shaming the tourney, but people don't like all the hot wings. I think it's still going to be super fun, and I think that this match was fantastic. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. There wasn't like a turn in this 3-game match that wasn't close.
I mean, the first match, I took 6 points off you, almost 8. The second match, Hot Wings or Final Question saved me from Desert Road, and this match was a photo finish in which I had the win and threw it away anyways. But
yeah, I'll admit, Pancake, I was left with the impression that you kind of lucked your way through that match.
Yeah.
Which
it was 4 final questions to 0.
Yeah, which
3, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to put yourself in position to take advantage of that. So you know, it's,
look, I had the hasty friends in hand. I was trying to draw into my freaking what's the card trashed, and it is what it is. Yeah, I stole 2 sway and I stole 2 final questions. I just need good problems, and then I can play the game.
You can dominate the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the end result is the same. Just bring it up here. That means that Pancake is through to the semifinals for the first time, I think, of the 3 invitationals that you played.
Yeah. Bugle hasn't shut me out for once. So now I have taken down Eminently. I need Instagram to meet me in semis, and I'll take him down, and then bugle at the top, and I will have officially conquered every one of my main competitors over the years who has knocked me out of top 8.
Yeah, we gotta say a redemption arc or a revenge arc, I guess. Depends on what
It's
perspective
revenge.
you look at it.
Well, yeah, this was ended up being a real fun set of matches. And
Yeah.
But I should have played the Nightmare Moon. I end up having a greater respect for Hot Wings than I think I should have. Because I was just so terrified of Nightmare Moon's just going to be problem blocking and that you're going to be able to steal because I don't have any immediates kind of a situation.
Which would be true if there weren't the Grogar's lair.
Yeah.
If I had enough actions, but I was just constantly action starved that whole game.
Yeah.
So I was never really that much of a threat.
But revention. This shall be my revention. Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone had fun in the chat. Appreciate you all for coming out. Yeah, we actually did get a pretty great turnout for it all. Thank you guys definitely for making the time both to play the game and to come here and do the commentary. I know I appreciate not having to talk much, frankly.
Definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun to look back and see everything and how to improve and what the fun stuff was and what was going on through your opponent's head.
And it was a great match to watch, I think. I was happy to watch it again.
Yeah, no, surprisingly so. This was very much a punchy match. And this game, holy crap, I think you're right. I think this whole game was less than 10 turns, despite that slowdown at the end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, people who were watching the clock, I don't know if anyone was watching the clock, there was a lot of action in the cards, would have noticed there were some pretty significant jumps. Eminently did a lot of thinking.
My brain was on overdrive trying to find that nonsense out at the end.
Which
I had to ask him at one point, are you in the tank or is it my turn?
But yeah, we have not recorded the next match yet. I'm going to be heading over to Discord to ask people to schedule that probably in either today or tomorrow. As far as the tournament goes, both of you guys are at a bit of a break for the next little while, probably, at least until Grandpa's and Instagram play their match, because the winner of that match will play you, Pancake, and the loser will play you, eminently.
Yep.
Otherwise, I think that will wrap us up for tonight. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we sign off?
Don't think so. I look forward to watching the next one.
I just have one thing to you, eminently.
All right.
What is the final question?
Do you have 15 points yet?
Pretty soon. Yeah, good game, good matches.
Very good.
Yeah. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you next week for more Invitational.
Thank y'all.